Hello everyone and welcome to the video, and today we're going to be talking about one of the best fire mage builds or pyromancer builds in Elden Ring right now. So this is a full caster build, and honestly I had so much fun making this build and running it in PvP. It's an amazing build, as you can see here by these giant kills. I hit the one in the head for over 10,000 and one fireball, which is crazy. But before we get into the video, I would like to say that if you guys could please drop a sub on the channel. About 99% of you guys are not subbed, so it would help me out so much and I would really appreciate it. And with that being said, another thing I wanted to mention was that if you guys have any trouble getting any of the gear for the build, you can go to mmoexp.com and you can get any item in the game or runes. Just use code ISER for 5% off. I'll put the link in the description. With that being said, we're going to get right into the video. So the first thing we always talk about is the gear. So for the gear of this build, we are running two giant seals, and I have them both plus 24. These give you a boost to the Giant's Flame incantations. I have a Keen Dagger with the Shadow Step just in case I need to be able to move quickly or dodge a lot of the trash spells that people will cast. And then for the fashion, we have the Skeletal Mask, the Rotten Gravekeeper Cloak, then the Knight's Cavalry Gauntlets, and the Rotten Duelist Greaves. I really like the fashion of this build. And for the Talismans, we have the Godfrey Icon. Every spell that you're going to use is pretty much a charged up spell. And then we have the Ritual Sword Talisman. Since you have range between you and the enemy, you're always going to be at maximum health. And if you're not, just make sure you always are. And then the next talisman we have is the Phlox Canvas Talisman. Obviously, this boosts incantations, which we are using in this build. And then last but not least, we have the Fire Scorpion Charm, which raises fire attack. And then next up, we have the Flask of Wondrous Physic. And for this, we have the Opaline Bubble tier and the Flame Shrouding Crack tier. This gives us a little bit extra fire damage as well. For the stats, we are level 150. We have 44 Vigor, 40 Mind, 25 Endurance, 10 Strength, 16 Dexterity, 10 Intelligence, 75 Faith, and 9 Arcane. And now we're going to take a look at the incantations. For the first two incantations, we have Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Vow. These are the two buffs of our build. Very important. You're going to cast these before every single fight or whatever you do. And then we have Catch Flame. This is if anyone gets in our face. It's a very fast burst damage. It attacks much faster than most swords in the game. And then for the next up, we have Giant's Flame Take Thee. This is going to be the main damage of the build. You're going to want to always make sure that you're charging this up too. And it does incredible damage, and it has a giant AoE, so it can hit people very easily. Then we have Flame of the Fell God. This is optional. Honestly, it's very hard to land, and it doesn't even do as much damage as the bigger fireball, so you could easily substitute this out. And then we have Flame Fall Upon Them. This is another one you could easily substitute out, but nevertheless, I'm running both of those, so I'm just going to show in the background a couple PvP clips, and then we'll get into the PvE later. But basically, I mean, this build does incredible damage. Like I said before, I had so much fun using it, and I was able to just consistently destroy gank squads. I was able to consistently destroy Rivers of Blood spam and all of the mage spam you're going to run into. So overall, I feel like this is a great build to run if you don't want to be like one of those guys that just heavily runs meta and spams Rivers of Blood, because that's obviously so boring. But one thing I want to mention is that if you're using this build, you're going to need to make sure that you know how to aim your incantations. This fireball is never going to hit if you just aim it at somebody. They're just going to roll through it. However, the AoE is so large that if you aim to where they're going to be, a lot of times you'll smoke them with it in one shot. And that's something that was apparent all throughout every single one of these PvP clips, was the fact that if you land a single fireball charged up, it will one-shot them, no matter what. I didn't run into a single person at the level 150 at this 150 range. I didn't run into one person that tanked a fireball. Every single person got one-shotted by it and killed instantly. From what I've found, the damage of the fireball can pretty much vary between about 3,500, around the 3,500 range, to over 5,000. And if you get a critical hit like the one I did on the Giant, it was over 10,000. So depending on the enemy's resistances to fire, if they have no resistances, it will be over 5,000 a hit. And if they have resistances, it could be as low as 3,500. However, I did not test this on any like super flame resistant enemies like the magma worm or any dragons like that. But I could imagine it's probably not too great. However, it probably still does decent damage. You might struggle just a little bit if you run into that issue, but I think overall the damage of the build is so amazing that you'll still be fine. So now I want to talk a little bit about the items I chose and the reasons why. So for the fashion, it's very obvious. I really think that the fashion for this build looks amazing, and I was really happy with it. For the seals, this is important to realize that you definitely need two of them. The reason we're running two of them is because when you have one, it gives you a 20% increase to all of your fire incantations. This includes the giant incantations, the giant flame incantations, and it also includes the fire monk incantations. So this pretty much covers just about every single fire incantation in the game, and when you pair it with one in your offhand, you also get an extra 20% bonus with that as well. So you're essentially getting 40% more damage, plus 10% damage from the one talisman, 15% from the other talisman, another 15% from the fire scorpion talisman, and for the charged Radagon icon, I believe it's 15 or 20%. And when you put the buffs on, Golden Vow, 15%, Flame Grammy Strength, 20%. So it's a lot of percentage increases throughout all of the gear, and that's the reason I'm able to hit so hard. So it's very important that you run those things that I have mentioned. I'm not entirely sure if there's a helmet that boosts fire damage, but if there is, you could always throw that on, and it would help you out a little bit more as well. But with that being said, that pretty much wraps up today's video. Like I said, this is one of the most fun builds I've had, and I really enjoyed making this one with the damage. It was incredible. I was able to counter Rivers of Blood and all of the meta spam very efficiently, and I was very happy with it overall. And one thing I'm going to mention is that if you guys have any specific builds you want to see, just go ahead and comment them below, and whatever comment has the most likes, I will be taking that comment and making the best build that I can out of it. So whatever you want to see, just comment below, and if you guys enjoyed this build, make sure to drop a like on the video and a sub to the channel. I make builds all the time, as well as various other guide videos. But that's pretty much it for today's video, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.